Profitability.
Profitability.
A decline in company profitability.
Profitable.
Profitable.
The advertising campaign proved very profitable.
A highly profitable business. A profitable afternoon.
Profit and loss account.
Profit and loss account.
Profiteering.
Profiteering.
Black market profiteers.
Profiterole.
Profiterole.
Profitless. Profiterole. Profitless.
Profitless.
Profit-making.
Profit-making.
Profit margin.
Profit margin.
Profit-sharing.
Profit-sharing.
Profits warning.
Profits warning.
Profligate.
Profligate.
Profligate spending.
The profligate use of energy resources. The profligate use of energy resources.
Pro forma.
Pro forma.
Pro forma approval.
Pro forma invoice. Profound.
Profound.
Tolstoy's experiences of war had a profound effect on his work. The mother's behaviour has a profound impact on the developing child.
Profound changes in society.
A profound sense of guilt. A profound question. Jenna is a profound thinker.
Her work touches something profound in the human psyche. Profound deafness.
Profound.
Profoundly.
Profoundly.
He was profoundly affected by his time in the army. The experience had been profoundly disturbing.
Profundity.
Profundity.
The cartoon version lacks the profundity of the original text. The profundities of her speech.
Profuse.
Profuse.
He made profuse apologies.
Profuse sweating is one of the symptoms of heat exhaustion.
The wound was bleeding profusely.
Profusion.
Profusion.
The house was overflowing with a profusion of strange ornaments. Cornflowers grow in profusion in the fields. Cornflowers grow in profusion in the fields. Progenitor.
Progenitor.
A progenitor of cubism.
Progeny.
Progeny.
Sarah with her numerous progeny.
Connolly's book is the progeny of an earlier TV series. Progesterone.
Progesterone.
Prognathus.
Prognathus.
Prognosis.
Prognosis.
Doctors said Blake's long-term prognosis is good.
A hopeful prognosis of the country's future development. A hopeful prognosis of the country's future development.
Prognostication.
Prognostication.
Gloomy prognostications. Program.
Program.
A word processing program.
Attempts to program computers to produce and understand speech.
Any large high-speed computer can be programmed to learn.
Programmable.
Programmable.
A programmable heating system.
Program.
Program.
The U.S. space program.
A United Nations program to control the spread of AIDS.
A program of economic reforms.
What's your favourite television program?
news and current affairs programs. There's a program about killer whales next.
Stanford University's MBA program. A research program.
A new fitness program. A theatre program. What's the program for tomorrow? A program of exhibitions throughout the year. The light goes off when it finishes the program.
The computers are programmed to search for keywords and numbers.
All birds of this species are programmed to build their nests in the same way. What's programmed for this afternoon?
Programmed learning.
Programmed learning.
Programmer.
Programmer.
Programming.
Programming.
A course in computer programming.
The Winter Olympics received over 160 hours of television programming.
Progress.
Progress.
The police are disappointed by the slow progress of the investigation. There has been significant progress in controlling heart disease. We are making steady progress towards a peaceful settlement.
Little progress has been made on human rights issues.
We made good progress despite the snow.
They watched the ship's slow progress through the heavy seas.
Mankind is destroying the planet, all in the name of progress.
Under communism, nothing was allowed to get in the way of the great march of progress.
A lecture was in progress in the main hall.
They looked in periodically to check the work in progress.
I asked the nurse how my son was progressing.
She started with a cleaning job and progressed to running the company. She started with a cleaning job and progressed to running the company. We must progress towards full integration of Catholic and Protestant pupils in Ireland. We must progress towards full integration of Catholic and Protestant pupils in Ireland. Last year, the team didn't progress beyond the opening round. Work on the ship progressed quickly.
We're hoping to progress the Lane project more quickly next week. As the meeting progressed, Nina grew more and more bored.
Time is progressing, so I'll be brief.
Our taxi seemed to be progressing very slowly. Our taxi seemed to be progressing very slowly.
Progression.
Progression.
The natural progression of the disease.
His career progression through the organisation.
The logical progression from accountant to financial controller.
Europe's progression towards economic and monetary union.
Progressive.
Progressive.
A progressive administration.
Progressive and forward-looking policies.
The progressive increase in population.
Britain's progressive decline as a world power.
Progressively.
Progressively.
The situation became progressively worse.
Progressive tax.
Progressive tax.
Progress report.
Progress report.
Prog rock. Prog rock.
Prohibit.
Prohibit.
Smoking is strictly prohibited inside the factory.
They are prohibited from revealing details about the candidates.
Prohibition.
Prohibition.
The prohibition of the sale of firearms.
A prohibition on Sunday trading.
Prohibitionist.
Prohibitionist.
Prohibitive.
Prohibitive.
The cost of land in Tokyo is prohibitive.
Prohibitive regulations.
Moving house would be prohibitively expensive.
Prohibitory.
Prohibitory.
Project.
Project.
The project aims to provide an analysis of children's emotions.
A 3-year research project.
The scheme will now be extended after a successful pilot project.
A project to develop a substitute for oil.
The project is funded by Wellcome plc.
A project manager.
We're doing a project on pollution. A geography project. The company projected an annual growth rate of 3%.
Projected sales figures. Total expenditure is projected to rise by 25%.
4 towers projected from the main building. 4 towers projected from the main building.
Projecting teeth.
She projected the slide onto the wall.
I hope the team will project a smart, professional image.
His attempts to project himself as a potential leader.
The projected closure of the hospital.
The plant projects its seeds over a wide area.
His success projected him onto Channel 4's comedy series, Packet of 3. His success projected him onto Channel 4's comedy series, Packet of 3.
You're projecting your insecurity onto me.
Projectile.
Projectile.
Projection.
Projection.
Projections of declining natural gas production.
Population projections for the next 25 years. He declined to make projections about fourth quarter earnings.
Early projections show a 3-point lead for the socialists.
Small projections of weathered rock on the hillside. Projection equipment.
A map projection.
The devil is a projection of our fears and insecurities.
Projectionist.
Projectionist.
Projector.
Projector.
Prolapse.
Prolapse.
Prole.
Prole.
Proletariat.
Proletariat.
Pro-life.
Pro-life.
A pro-life activist.
Proliferate.
Proliferate.
Computer courses continue to proliferate.
Proliferation.
Proliferation.
The proliferation of global media networks.
Prolific.
Prolific.
Handel's prolific output of opera. The most prolific goal scorer this decade.
The prolific bird life.
Prolix.
Prolix.
Prologue.
Prologue.
A prologue to the final abandonment of trams in London. Prolong.
Prolong.
I was trying to think of some way to prolong the conversation.
There's no point in prolonging the agony any longer.
Prolongation.
Prolongation.
The prolongation of life.
Prolonged.
Prolonged.
Prolonged exposure to the sun.
A prolonged period of time.
Prom. Promenade.
Promenade.
An evening promenade.
Prom. Promenade.
Promenade.
Promenade concert.
Promenade concert.
Promenade deck.
Promenade deck.
Prominence.
Prominence.
The prominence of pressure groups as political forces.
She first came to prominence as an artist in 1989.
Every newspaper gave prominence to the success of England's cricketers.
Prominent.
Prominent.
A prominent Russian scientist.
Mandela played a prominent role in the early years of the ANC.
The World Cup will have a prominent place on the agenda.
The statue was in a prominent position outside the railway station.
A prominent nose. Her photo was prominently displayed on his desk.
Promiscuous.
Promiscuous.
The risks of promiscuous sexual behavior.
Sexual promiscuity.
Promise.
Promise.
Last night the headmaster promised a full investigation.
She's promised to do all she can to help. Hurry up, we promised we wouldn't be late. You promised me the car would be ready on Monday. Promise me you won't do anything stupid. I promise.
I've promised that book to Ian, I'm afraid.
The company promised us a bonus this year.
I'll be back by 1. Promise? Yes. Don't worry. He reappeared 2 hours later, as promised.
Tonight's meeting promises to be a difficult one.
Dark clouds promising showers later.
I'll try my best to get tickets, but I can't promise anything.
I promise you, it does work.
We received promises of support from several MPs. He would never break his promise to his father.
She made a promise to visit them once a month.
I received a promise that this would not happen again.
A young man full of promise.
Bill shows great promise as a goalkeeper.
She didn't fulfill her early promise.
The promise of spring.
The letter gave a promise of greater happiness.
Promised land.
Promised land.
Promising.
Promising.
A promising career in law. A promising young actor.
A promising start.
Promissory note.
Promissory note.
Promo.
Promo.
A promo video.
Promontory.
Promontory.
A rocky promontory.
Promote.
Promote.
A meeting to promote trade between Taiwan and the UK. Fertilizer promotes leaf growth. Helen was promoted to senior manager. She's in London to promote her new book.
They have been promoted to the first division.
John Major promoted the idea of a classless society.
Promoter.
Promoter.
A boxing promoter. Promoters of solar energy.
Promotion.
Promotion.
I want a job with good prospects for promotion. Your promotion to senior editor is now official.
A winter sales promotion.
The promotion of energy conservation. The promotion of international environmental cooperation.
Promotional.
Promotional. A promotional video.
Prompt.
Prompt.
What prompted you to buy that suit?
The decision prompted an outcry among prominent U.S. campaigners.
I can't decide, said Beatrice. Decide what? Prompted Marlon.
A message will appear, which will prompt you for certain information.
Prompt action must be taken.
Prompt payment is requested.
A prompt response.
Lunch is at 2. Try to be prompt. The bus will leave at 8 o'clock prompt.
Prompter.
Prompter.
Promptly.
Promptly.
She arrived promptly.
She turned off the alarm and promptly went back to sleep. A reply came very promptly.
Promulgate.
Promulgate.
Prone.
Prone.
Some plants are very prone to disease.
Kids are all prone to eat junk food.
He's always been accident prone.
His eyes shifted to the prone body on the floor.
Jack lay prone on his bed.
Prong.
Prong.
Sticking out like the prongs of a garden fork. The second prong of the attack.
A two-pronged fork.
Pronominal.
Pronominal.
Pronoun.
Pronoun.
Pronounce.
Pronounce.
How do you pronounce your name?
The victim was pronounced dead on arrival. I now pronounce you man and wife. The scheme was pronounced a failure.
He used to pronounce on matters he knew nothing about.
Pronounceable.
Pronounceable.
Pronounced.
Pronounced.
A pronounced Polish accent.
This disability is more pronounced in men.
Pronouncement.
Pronouncement.
The Pope's last pronouncement on birth control.
Pronto.
Pronto.
You'd better get back here pronto.
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
Do you know the correct pronunciation of these Gaelic names?
Proof. Proof.
Proof of the existence of life on other planets.
This latest interview was further proof of how good at her job Kara was. Do you have any proof that this man stole your bag?
There is no proof that the document is authentic.
Can you check these proofs?
Their defences are proof against most weapons.
Climbing gear proofed against water.
Do you want me to proof those documents for you?
Proof.
Proof.
A bulletproof car. A waterproof jacket. An oven-proof dish.
A child-proof container.
Vandal-proof.
Soundproof a room.
Proofread.
Proofread.
A proofreading job.
Prop.
Prop.
He propped his bike against a tree.
Can we prop the window open with something?
The builders are trying to prop up the crumbling walls of the church.
Paintings propped up against the wall. The government introduced measures to prop up the stock market.
She propped herself up on one elbow.
Anna looks after costumes and props.
Stage props. She was becoming an emotional prop for him.
Propaganda.
Propaganda. The spreading of political propaganda. They have mounted a propaganda campaign against Western governments. The government propaganda machine.
Propagate.
Propagate.
The group launched a website to propagate its ideas.
Propagate your plants in fresh soil.
Propagator.
Propagator.
Propane.
Propane.
Propel.
Propel.
A boat propelled by a small motor.
One of our students was unable to propel her wheelchair up the ramp.
She used the sticks to propel herself along.
He took her arm and propelled her towards the door.
The film propelled her to stardom. Company directors were propelled into action.
Propellant.
Propellant.
Propeller.
Propeller.
Propelling pencil.
Propelling pencil.
Propensity.
Propensity.
The male propensity to fight.
He seems to have a propensity for breaking things. Proper.
Proper.
Everything was in its proper place.
The proper way to clean your teeth.
The proper name for Matthew's condition is hyperkinetic syndrome.
I don't feel that it will be proper for me to give you that information. It is only right and proper that an independent inquiry should take place.
When are you going to settle down and get a proper job?
Try to eat proper meals instead of fast food takeaways. The friendly chat which comes before the interview proper is intended to relax the candidate.
The city centre proper.
The reasoning abilities proper to our species.
Dressed in a way that was proper to the occasion.
He's made a proper fool of himself this time.
She was very formal and proper.
We beat him good and proper.
Proper fraction.
Proper fraction.
Properly.
Properly.
The brakes don't seem to be working properly.
Then he's not doing his job properly. Parents should teach their children to behave properly in public.
Properly trained staff.
Is the chicken properly defrosted?
The allegations were never properly investigated.
Documents properly belonging to the family were taken away.
It isn't, properly speaking, a real science.
People are quite properly proud of their homes.
Proper noun.
Proper noun.
Propertied.
Propertied.
The propertied classes.
Property.
Property.
The hotel is not responsible for any loss or damage to guests' personal property.
Some of the stolen property was found in Mason's house.
Property prices have shot up recently.
The property market.
A sign saying private property. Keep out.
Property taxes.
A herb with healing properties.
The chemical properties of a substance.
Property developer.
Property developer.
Prophecy.
Prophecy.
The prophecy that David would become king was fulfilled.
The prophecy of Isaiah.
She had the gift of prophecy.